Good morning. Welcome back. We're day 3, entering the 3rd day on this water. Everybody's looking fine. Everybody's behavior is continuing to be perfect, and everybody's color is amazing. What's today's topic? I'm going to make today's topic about why do I take the risks that I do? Why am I not playing things more safe? That's definitely something people have observed and even commented on from time to time. And I guess we'll start with the short answer and then we'll elaborate. The short answer is, if you don't take any risks in life, you'll get nowhere. You will literally, playing it safe in anything you do, be it a sport or fish keeping. If you take the paranoid route and you oh, I've got to quarantine all my fish and all that crap, well, you're still going to have problems. Guarantee you're still going to have problems. You're going to jump through all of those hoops, and you're still going to introduce something to your tank, and you're going to be like, well, but I quarantined. Why is this happening to me? It's very simple. In many cases, a fish can carry a virus for a very long period of time, despite the fact that fish is immune to it himself, or highly resistant to it itself. So the fish you may or may not have brought home and quarantined for several weeks, even a month, can actually still pass crap on to your fish, even though he looks perfectly fine when you drop him in the tank. So it will help you avoid things like ick, because that's enough time for you to see something like ick or fin rot or something external, okay? But when it comes to the internal stuff, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months isn't enough. And to put your fish, especially a social fish like a discus, very emotionally sensitive social fish like a discus, in a tank all by himself for a month or two, is, you might as well just kill that fish. You might as well go to the store, buy him, and flush him down, bring him home and flush him down your toilet, because he's going to be stressed out the whole time. He's not going to eat properly. Then his health is going to decline in your quarantine tank. Okay, because he's stressed out and he's not eating properly. He's not going to grow for that month because he's stressed out and not eating properly. And his immune system is crashing for weeks before you introduce that fish into a tank full of other fish, all of which may have something that they can pass to your one new fish, who's now weak and scared and psychologically damaged because he spent a month in a quarantine tank. So it might work for guppies and it might work for African cichlids, okay, but it's not going to work for your discus. So why do I take risks? Well, I just explained why I don't quarantine my discus. Because it's detrimental. If I practiced that routine every time I purchased a fish, I'm doing the damage I already described. Then I'm putting them in my tank. I've set a young fish back 2 months. And I'm not going to get a full-grown fish at the end of the day. So why, that's why I take the risks I take, because I've weighed the risk versus benefit. I've weighed the risks and benefits, and I'm better off putting that fish directly in my tank. What you need to do is learn how to pick a healthy fish and find a good source, a pet shop that knows how to A, source fish, and B, look after them when they arrive. A pet shop that cleans their tanks and does their maintenance meticulously, you know. And a lot of times you don't find that in the mom and pop pet shops. Unfortunately, I've in my city that seems to be the way it is. Mom and pop, they slack off, they don't do their maintenance, and then they drop Discus in a 10-gallon tank, and they let them sit there for 2-3 months, waiting to sell them. And their environment is all linked together, and it's just a mess. You never buy a Discus from a place like that. You buy Discus from a pet shop who's smart enough to put them in an isolated tank that's not connected to all the rest of the fish in their system, that just increase the chances of picking up a disease. So there's ways to go about it, because I've found that source and I trust them, and they do sell clean fish, and they're good about quarantining and treating their fish before they sell them and all that good stuff. I'm confident when I bring a fish home that it's like this guy, or it's like this guy, and they're going to grow like bad weeds now. And even the little white guy, he's doing great, and he's pretty small. Normally when you start getting him into 3, I brought him home, he was 3-inch. He might be coming up on 4 now. But you get under 3-inch or lower, and there's very high chance these smaller fish will die on you. But he's thriving. He's doing fine. The other thing about disease is you'll hear, oh, you can bring home a fish and wipe out your whole tank. That's true for something like ick. Ick can do that, for sure. But most diseases cannot kill everybody, and won't kill everybody, and won't even affect everybody. If a fish has a strong immune system, he'll keep it out, while the fish with a weak immune system is suffering right beside him. It's not like it's guaranteed to jump to every fish in your tank. It's not how epidemiology works. So what I do is I see a problem fish, and I start treating the entire school first off with medicated foods, because most of the problems I've ever seen are internal parasites, and they just show up. You can quarantine your fish till the sun goes down. The parasites are in the food, or they come in with the water. Parasites are part of the environment. They're all over your body, they're all over your bed, and they're definitely in your fish tank. And when your fish get weak, that's when they get sick. That's when the parasites that already exist in your environment, they're there, trust me, will jump into your fish. It's because your water was dirty, their immune system's dropped, and boom, the infection jumps in. 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. So all of the stuff that you're going to see out there in regards to discus keeping, or fish keeping in general, and all of the advice, it might be good for fish species A, but it's not necessarily good advice for fish species B. And I think that's why I might get criticisms for doing too much to my tank, and oh, I'm being risky. And no, I'm not. I've defeated every problem I've ever faced, and the more paranoid I was towards the beginning, the more I was failing. The more I followed their advice, the more failure I experienced. The more I broke away from all of those rules, the more I broke all of those rules and started doing things my own way, the more success I had. And so I guess my message is, don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid. Be prepared. And if you're prepared, whatever comes along, you'll just deal with it because you're ready for it. Expect the problem. Have what you need to deal with said problem. And enjoy your hobby. Don't do it their way. Do your own thing. Then you'll succeed. If you want to run a YouTube channel and you're going to play it safe, you're going to have nothing to talk about. You're going to have nothing to teach anyone other than follow the paranoid mantra of, oh my God, put masks on your fish. You know, like, it's gotten that way in this world. And it's gotten that way with fish keeping and the advice that people give. And then everyone watches all this paranoid advice, and they want to make a YouTube channel and have a fish tank, and they want to be the guy that does it right. So, well, you know, you certainly don't want to put up your failures on YouTube. That's what most people. I put mine up. I make mistakes. You get to learn from them. I think that's productive. I think that's going to help people learn how to keep these complicated fish and gain confidence in keeping these complicated fish. Or you could be the other guy who, you know, is going to follow the paranoid mantra, and because you're so caught up in all that crap, you build your tank in a safe way. You pick safe species, and then you start your YouTube channel, and you put your camera on the tank, and all you got's a whole bunch of guppies and live bearers because they're safe, and you know, nobody's going to notice if anything goes wrong, and things probably won't go wrong because you don't have to add any more fish. They're just going to reproduce like mad and fill up your tank and do all of those things we all watched for, you know, 1,000 hours when we were 9 years old. So we don't need to see it anymore, and no one has nothing to learn from you because you're playing it safe. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I'm not playing it safe. I've broken all the rules. Look at my fish. That's all I gotta say. Look at my results. Look at the shape. Look at the health. Look at the colors. Everything you're seeing in my tank is what they'll tell you not to do, or they'll refuse to do. And do your own thing. Don't get caught up in the, you know, paranoia, because if you do that, you'll never do anything to your tank, and your tank will be stale and boring, and you won't enjoy the hobby. So I hope that addresses anyone who's confused as to why I'm not afraid to put new fish in my tank or to add plants in my tank. And if there's consequences, I will deal with them because I'm prepared to deal with it. And that's it. There's two ways to look at life. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Sorry, Greg. I mean that. And I prefer challenges over easy street. I've been that way my whole life, and it's done nothing but lead me to success every single time. So you have two choices: play the safe route or have fun. And I'm having fun. I hope you all have a wonderful day.